Welcome back to the channel, y'all. It's your boy Masquerade, and today we're going to be speaking about One Punch Man. Now, this is a story that's about a man named Saitama and how he can overcome his despair of living a life where he has no rival, and he defeats everyone with one punch. But there is more to the story. So there is a prophecy that the heroes must prevent, or the whole world at some point will get destroyed. Now, the more you read the story, the more this makes sense and what sort of prophecy it is, especially after the Monster Association arc. Now, the story is both comedic and serious, and it shifts through these two tones very well. Now, of course, when we talk about a story, we have to talk about the characters and why I think you should read the story and why I think it's very underrated. I think a lot of people just think it's about a story about a guy who just beats people with one punch and so forth, but there is more to the story, and the characters, they just show you how good of a story this is and how good it can become, because its characterization is actually very good. So let's get into the characters. I've chosen 3 characters because these characters to me are the most important characters in the story. So yeah, let's obviously talk about the main character, who is Saitama, aka the guy who defeats everybody with one punch. He is a character that has to deal with being too strong, and this leads him to being bored with his life. So he goes through this whole depression state where he thinks that there is no meaning to his life as because he's just too strong, right? He defeats everybody with one punch. What's the point of even being a hero if you're not going to be tested as a hero, because he just beats everyone with one punch? But then there's this whole cool dialogue in the story where he has with King, where King says that there's more to being a hero than just beating the villain, right? So he has to learn how to live with being strong and also being one of the best heroes at the same time, as those two things are different, as we see with Terrible Tornado later on in the story, who is one of the strongest characters in the story. But just because she's strong doesn't make her a good hero, and just because Saitama is strong doesn't automatically make him a good hero. Now, he also has a way of always saying something inspirational in a way, or something that just seems plain and simple, and people around him take him as this philosopher. It's like actually funny every time he says something, then they interpret it in a different way. They're like, oh my gosh, he just said this, and it's just really funny because, you know, the story is about comedy, and it's funny. The way the comedy is in the story is funny. Saitama is a gag character who can actually fight. Now, this is different from other manga. Other manga have a gag character who just always survives no matter what happens. Like you have Usopp, who's a gag character in One Piece. I'm not sure about other shows really, because Dragon Ball kind of did at some point have gag characters. Like I used to see Krillin as a gag character in a way, like the guy just always survived. Yamcha, at some point I think they did. I don't know about right now. I don't really focus on Dragon Ball as I used to, but each show has a gag character. But the way One Punch Man did it is like their main character is the gag character, and it's just funny. So there are 2 gag characters. There's I can't really say the other one because it's a spoiler and I don't want to give spoilers. This is for people who, well, want to get into One Punch Man and why you should get into it, right? There are 2 gag characters, the main character and the other character, who you will find out, and it's actually funny. And I just think that it's kind of cool to have a gag character who's the main character, but at the same time he can actually fight. The way Yusuke Murata uses Saitama is actually interesting. He's comedic and serious at the same time. It's actually something very different from what other shows do, right? Usually you have just a comedic character and just a serious character throughout the story, but he decided to combine them and make them this whole one character, and it is kind of cool. Now, what I also like about Saitama is that he's a character that doesn't discriminate between monsters and humans. This is actually a cool plot point in the story, because I wonder how things will develop with him making friends with monsters as the story progresses, because he's a person who basically he doesn't fight you just because you look a certain way or you come from a certain place. Whereas the Hero Association, right, the heroes, they just fight monsters because they are monsters, right? There is no reason to fighting them. They fight monsters because they are monsters, and the monsters fight the heroes because they are heroes. But Saitama is different. He only fights when conflict is brought to him. He's not a character who goes looking for conflict, and I really like that about his character. Now, another character we can talk about is Genos. Genos is a cyborg who is hunting down another mecha machine that destroyed his homeland. Everybody died. They got killed by this machine, right? So he's hunting them down. So we never actually get to see this event take place, but Genos just comes into the story and he tells us this. And he's so caught up in that goal that he basically doesn't care about anything when the story starts. But throughout the manga, he learns to be more human than a machine with the help of Saitama and Dr. Kuseno, who is the man who gave him a second chance to live. So Dr. Kuseno is the one who made him a cyborg, and he helped him to carry on living, and he just lived for that sole purpose of finding the machine or the other cyborg that killed his home, until he meets Saitama, and Kuseno also helps him throughout his journey, and he becomes more human even though he doesn't have a human heart. Then there is Tornado of Terror, or Terrible Tornado. I'm not sure which translation it is, to be honest, who is Tatsumaki. This is the character who I think is one of the best written side characters in the story. Has to be. I like Genos, but I think Terrible Tornado is the best written side character in One Punch Man. So she is a hero. She believes in her power and no one else's power, right? She just believes in herself. This influence comes from the #1 hero in the story, who is known as Blast. Yes, Saitama is the strongest guy in the show, and he's not the #1 hero. So there is more to being a hero, as I said. She doesn't really care about what others have to say, and this is something that she has to deal with and to do. She has to learn how to care about others. She has to learn how to accept others' help, because she doesn't do that. She only believes in herself, and this is a very interesting character in my opinion. Now, all these character moments, all these things that you learn actually only happen as the story progresses. That you don't learn about these things in the beginning of the story. The beginning of the story just sets out basically the layers and of what's to come, really. The Monster Association arc, right? That is the arc that really dives into these characters and really shows what they are capable of. Like all the guys that you are wondering how good they are, the characters. Monster Association arc. When you're reading One Punch Man, don't drop it until you read the Monster Association arc. If you still want to drop it after reading the Monster Association arc, I don't know, but read it, bear with it, because I do think that the first part of One Punch Man just serves as an introduction. I don't think it's really that serious. Even when the guy, the alien dude came, is it Boros? I think it's Boros or something like that. Well, even that part I didn't take seriously. But the Monster Association arc, trust me, keep reading One Punch Man. Keep reading it. It gets a lot better. Like, it's peak right now, okay? It is peak. Now, there are other characters such as Zombie Man, Child Emperor, and Silver Fang that I didn't get into. There's just too many characters, right? And too many goofy names also too. Like, One Punch Man has some goofy ass names, bro. I'll get into these names later on in the video. But there are other interesting characters. I like Child Emperor. I'll let you know why. So as I say, the story does pick up a lot of momentum and plot in the Monster Association arc, which allows every hero to showcase their skills and the will to actually be a hero, because being a hero means something different to a lot of these characters. And in this arc, bro, Child Emperor, bro, for me, Child Emperor is MVP. What a leader he is. For a child to lead the heroes against the Monster Association, that is crazy. And he actually pulled through. He was MVP, bro. The fight against Phoenix, man, oh my god. Wow, what a character. I like Child Emperor a lot. I think he's very underrated. I think he's very underrated amongst the fan base, even in the manga, amongst his own colleagues. He has been underrated for a long time. He deserves respect. He is absolutely amazing. And then there's Zombie Man 2. Zombie Man 2 also pulled through. I don't really understand how Zombie Man's powers work. Maybe we'll get an explanation when the story keeps progressing, because can he die? I'm just wondering if he can die. So as I said, to some, being a hero means stuff different. So to some people it means popularity, like a Mai Mask, and to some people it means more than that. It actually means saving people or achieving power. Or for Saitama, basically he just wants a rival. So yeah, there are a lot of bad names in this manga. As I said, there's a lot of goofy names, which is done on purpose because the story is a comedy. After all, it's comedic. So there are two names here that just throw me off guard, right? Saitama's hero name and a monster's name during the Monster Association arc, who was one of the top monsters, right? The strongest monsters, right? So Saitama's name is Bald Cape. Whose idea was this to? Why does Murata name these guys this way? I just think it's so funny, bro. And then there's the monster, bro. His name is Black Sperm. Yes, his name is Black Sperm, bro. What is going on here? The monster designs are usually cool, but the heroes are purposefully made to look like clowns. I don't know why. Like, there's so many heroes in this story, and 7 75% of them look bad. Like the designs are bad. Like the artwork is cool, but the designs, hell no, not for me, bro. Now in the story, Garo versus Saitama is my favorite fight. If you're looking forward to fights in the story, best believe there are a lot of amazing fights. Even Saitama's fights are actually cool, even though like he beats people with one punch, but there are certain people that he has needed to actually, you know what, just read the story, bro, you will see. But Garo versus Saitama is my favorite fight in the story. And yes, when you start reading One Punch Man, you're going to ask yourself, will we ever see the #1 hero Blast? Yes, you will. You will eventually see him once you get to the Monster Association arc. Keep reading the story, you will see Blast. Cool dude, I guess. But yeah, so as always with these videos, I let you know what I like and what I dislike. So these are the things that I like about the show. The art style is top tier, one of the best. I think this is my favorite art style. I think I have it above Berserk actually. I like Berserk's art style a lot, but I just think there are moments in One Punch Man where the artwork, it doesn't even seem like art anymore. It seems like you actually living in that world. So that's why I just love the artwork. It's one of the best I've ever seen, ever. Like since I've started reading manga, this has to be one of the best. The plot is very interesting. Now this is something that I also like, right? The plot is very interesting. When the Monster Association arc finishes, things are starting to get very heated. Like you learn about the prophecy, you kind of put things together as to what the prophecy is about, and I'm kind of understanding like what it is about right now. Yo, read the story, trust me, do not drop this manga. It is totally worth it. The characters are also both interesting and entertaining. The way Murata uses his characters is very interesting because they are all funny in their own way, but they're also cool to watch, especially when fighting. Like Genos is funny in his own way. He takes everything literal and it's kind of funny, right? And then you have Tatsumaki, who just blocks out everything she hears and just pretends like she didn't hear it. Then you have Silverfang, who has his own moments, and Saitama, obviously. They are very interesting to read. Now there are other characters where you are like, okay, this is just too much. Like Puri Prisoner, bro. Oh lord, I can't take that guy. I can't handle him, bro. He gotta get out of the story, right? Now these are things I wish were done better. The portrayal of emotion in the story. Yes, I know it's a comedy manga. Yes, I know it's not supposed to be that serious, but I do wish that the emotion portrayal was done a little bit better. But I do like how it was executed in the Monster Association arc. As I said, dude, bruh, the Monster Association arc really puts One Punch Man on a high pedestal for me. It really does, right? And also, by the way, I'm tired of people saying this. One Punch Man is not a shonen. It's a seinen manga. Okay, so stop it. Stop it. Then there's also the fact that characters don't die on the hero side, right? Of course, the monsters will always die. But we need more character deaths on the hero side. I think that One Punch Man needs to do this a lot better in terms of character deaths, emotion. We need that. We need to show that the situation is actually serious. I just don't understand how everybody came out alive in the Monster Association arc. That I can't remember anyone that died. I just think that doesn't make any sense. Those guys were strong, bruh. That makes no sense in my opinion. So yeah, if you like this video, you know, like the video, of course, comment if you're looking forward to reading this manga, and also tell me like if you have read the manga, like what it is you like about it. It's a really good manga, very underrated among the fan base, anime fan base, manga fan base. They underrated a lot. They drop it very early. I've heard a lot of people drop One Punch Man very early before the Monster Association arc. I truly think y'all should pick it up again. If you've dropped it, pick it up again, please do so. It's a really good manga, and subscribe to the channel if you are looking forward to seeing more of these videos from me. This is Masquerade, and I'll see you in the next one, man. Peace.